one. And also in the same vein, on what we had an international and repackaged Clasico ending in the favor of Barcelona. Beating. This is proper beating. Is it beating or annihilation?
Annihilation is
okay. Annihilation of the Real Madrid Football Club, and that brings me to Comrade Mr. Rafiki. So, do you want to weigh in on that?
I think first things first. I want to first and foremost, Comrade Soko, why are you wearing Manchester City jersey? Because
no. In the spirit of brotherhood.
I've been looking at him every time he's talking. I'm not paying attention. I've been looking at that jersey every time he's talking. I'm not even seeing. I'm not hearing anything. I've been looking at that jersey. I don't want to hear that you're potting, because I will travel all the way to the altar. I'll use GPS look for you. Anyways, I think this week, not just this week, England plays a lot of games, and it's taking a toll on the players. It's taking a whole lot on the players.
Not just a lot of games without breaks.
That's what I'm saying. Now, Arsenal, I'm using Arsenal because I know of that one where they only have 3 days in between, sometimes 2 days in between games. As we're speaking now, Arsenal played yesterday, right? On Saturday, Arsenal is going to be playing Aston Villa again, and we are getting so many injuries. I'm particularly very happy for Reece James, who for a very long time had not played football. Some people started feeling it's like this one is no longer interested in football again. But you need to understand. I saw a picture of someone, a footballer's leg, who had just who was going to undergo surgery, and they held his Achilles tendon with staple pins to hold it together. And I looked at the leg. I said, this is a human being leg with this. Do you understand? They don't get. You see a player running. Saka's injury came from sprinting. Not like anybody tackled him. From sprinting, and he got a muscle tear or what have you. And same thing with Nwaneri, and we have other players in other teams. But like you rightfully said, a lot of us didn't know. If we had done on time, we would have carried a bar or carry Semo and sat down in front of the TV, so that as they draw, we touch the TV. We're still going to have some games again this evening. The table is taking shape. One team that I'm very particular about is Nottingham Forest. Yes, that's the team I'm looking at. No, on my way here, I was thinking, are we not seeing the insurgents, or I don't know if I'm using the correct word.
Repeat of Leicester City?
Not Leicester City.
Okay.
There was a time where Nottingham Forest was up there in the EPL,
yes,
maybe in the 60s or whatever.
Yeah.
They were up there. Even they've won the Champions League, I think, twice.
Yes, even before title gone people.
Yeah. whatever it is you want to say. But I'm beginning to see that come to light, and I think that's where aside from players, coaching also come into the fore. I understand what Comrade Soko said. I'm going to be hammering on this, critiquing this guy until I get a result. Remember when Nottingham Forest came into the EPL, the coach, I've forgotten his name, bought almost 20-something players to the team, and they barely escaped relegation. And you have a new coach who is now, I think Arsenal and Nottingham Forest just have 2 points between them, or a point thereabout. If I'm not mistaken. They are doing very, very well now at the moment, and they are playing good football. That's why you can hear that Ola Aina is in the forefront now. So a lot of draws during the weekend, and the table is shaking. Newcastle is doing great. I think they've won like 9 games now
on a stretch.
Isak scoring twice yesterday. That guy is on fire at the moment. And then you have, I don't know what's happening to Cole Palmer. He scores. What someone says, in the first 15-20 minutes, you see Cole Palmer in the game, or sometimes he will score, after which he will disappear in the game. It is not to hit at anybody, but you need to be consistent if you want results. And then today we're going to be seeing maybe a resurgent Man United team playing against Southampton, who is the whooping boys of the EPL. I hope that the energy they used against Arsenal, they used against is it Liverpool, doesn't come to haunt them, because most times why none of these big results shock me, because when teams wants to play their arch rivals, there's this spirit that comes out,
this adrenaline that just,
do you understand?
Yeah.
They may be losing against every team, but then when they meet their arch rival, but then they meet a lower team and you don't understand what is happening to them. So we're expecting something good, maybe from Man U this evening.
All right, thank you very much. Comrade Soko, a fellow brotherhood,
Ask him why is he wearing Man City jersey. That's what the first question.
From the beginning of this season, like we've rightly said, and we've all agreed in our, in the other room, that we are not in the league race. We are not in the title race. But then,
pretenders.
The rate at which we have been eating swallow with different kind of draw soup these days is becoming a pain in our hearts, and then supporters are beginning to eat it on everybody. But we are just lucky to have it that we supplied Ewedu and Amala. Liverpool provided us with Odbolo and Semovita. You have Manchester City also giving us which other draw soup that is available now. okra
Fisherman soup.
Fisherman soup. I want you to weigh in on this result, and in the same vein also just chip us into what happened with the Super Cup, a Clasico between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Bolu. The reason I'm wearing the Manchester City is just for aesthetics.
Okay.
I like the color and nothing more. It's
okay.
nothing.
I don't want to let you putting because you drew.
No, I cannot put. So I will actually start with Chelsea. Mr. Raphael mentioned the fact that Kupama came into the game, and actually later on he actually dropped. And we actually came out with a very poor result against at home against Bournemouth. And personally, I watched that game, and I can tell you for free that Chelsea has a very, very poor striker.
Jackson.
In the person of Nicholas Jackson. He's very, very inconsistent. Yes, sometimes he has some very, very brilliant flashes. And like the first goal we scored, he was the one that actually gave the assist after a very beautiful run. But if you watch that game, especially the first half, you will see that he missed a number of open goals, sitters. And for a team to actually do well, you have to be very, very clinical at this stage. As Mr. Golu rightly said, and our coach has always hammered, we are not actually in the running for the league title. We are still in the building process.
Amen.
So that has actually helped us to curb our expectations as a football club.
Amen.
The other result on Tuesday, it was a fixture of draws because Manchester City drew, even Nottingham and Liverpool also drew. Nottingham has been having a very, very good run. To confirm, their Arsenal is just 2 points ahead of them. Arsenal is 43 points at this point, while Nottingham is 41 points. So they're actually having a very, very good run. And I've actually been waiting for them to fall off. And they are not falling off. And that result against Liverpool, it was actually Liverpool that was struggling in that particular game. So it's actually a good one for Nottingham Forest at this point in time. For yesterday's fixture, the derby match, I was really, really impressed because Arsenal, the intensity was really, really good, and Tottenham actually struck first, and Arsenal was able to respond very, very quickly with two quick goals. So it was actually a very good one. Personally, I feel that the recent London derbies have been really, really one-sided. Arsenal has continued to alienate and demolish Tottenham. So it has actually been one-sided. So kudos to Arsenal team. Kudos to Raphael. I wish them the best. They have actually beginning to pick up form. The only bad news is Gabriel Jesus being out with ACL, crucial ligament injury for the duration of the season. On the El Clasico, I think that Ancelotti has not been able to understand the tactics of Flick, because the first El Clasico was a demolition. The second El Clasico was also a demolition. So personally, I believe that the tactics that Hansi Flick is bringing into these Clasico matches is completely overwhelming the Real Madrid team. I also believe that Real Madrid has not been able to find a balance for their attacking players, the likes of Vinicius, Bellingham, Mbappe, and Rodrigo. They have not been able to find a balance. I read a report that Ancelotti is actually thinking of dropping one of them so that he can actually have a balance. Another thing that I can see in that particular game was the issue of injuries. Shomani was actually playing a centre back, and that is not his preferred position. So, as Mr. Raphael rightly said, the number of games, especially in England, that these players tend to play is actually really overwhelming. It's actually a lot, especially in England, and this is really having an adverse effect on their performances and their injuries and their body. So I don't know in the future if they are going to actually change this, but with the money that they are receiving, I don't think that is going to be possible. With the marketing, the money and advertisement that these players are getting, I think this is just a sacrifice that they have to make for the growth of the beautiful game. Thank you very much, Mr. Bolo.
All right, sir. All right. Thank you very much. Prince Kelechi Big Bulam. I don't know. In 30 seconds, we want you to weigh in on this. In 30 seconds. Prince Kelechi, are you there? Oh, while we are waiting for Prince Kelechi. Prince Kelechi, are you there now? In 30 seconds. Yeah, the EPL results. Any shocker?
Well, first, congratulations to Arsenal. North London, they say, is always red. So, congratulations to Mr. Raphael. I must say, they are shockers, and I must give kudos to Nottingham Forest. I must tell you that was a very good result they got against Liverpool, and Chelsea is struggling against Bournemouth as well. You know, I saw the free he scored by Reece James, you know, and I was like, yes, James is back. So even not for the free kick, it would have been a loss to Chelsea. But congratulations to them as well. And then Brentford, Man City, it's been another good game. So these teams are really coming up, most especially what's the name? Nottingham Forest. I must tell you, they are really doing very well. You know, if you look at Mr. Rafiki said they bought I think about 25, 26 players thereabout, and before Santos came in, he like changed the squad and gave them a good mentality to go all out, not to be scared. If it was to be the Nottingham Forest of back years, I bet that game Liverpool should have scored nothing less than 5 or 6 goals. But I'm just like Mr. Raphael have said rightly, I saw a Liverpool team struggling to adapt to the game, even not for the brilliance of Jota. After coming in, he made a good use of the cross from Stimika. So the games are really going well. I just wish and hope the injuries to players are going to be reduced at the barest minimum, in as much as they play week in, week out in the interval of 2-3 days. Just like he has said. So the games are really going well, and I wish them all.
All right, sir. All right. Thank you very much, Prince Kelechi. I'll go to my anchor. They said you will never walk alone, but it looks like this man is walking alone currently, and they provided us with semo and okra soup. So, Mr. Chukwebuka Ike, my co-anchor, you never walk alone. Are you walking alone, or you are walking with Swallow now? Are you there, Mr. Ibuka?
Our 2024-2025 pretenders, where I'm here to tell you that I'm not like those people that pretend and say they are not title contenders. I am a title contender. That's why I'm on top of the table at the moment. And what happened at Nottingham Forest a couple of days back was kudos Nottingham Forest. The first half was quite challenging. Liverpool didn't get any shots at all the first half. But also their goalkeeper was brilliant at the second half. He made at least not less than 7 saves that were direct at goal. So even not for the goalkeeper, and I know saved one of the goals that Mo Salah had hit on target to the goal. It was just for the instance that Aina was there. So if not from all those saves and luck on the side of the Nottingham Forest, Liverpool would have trashed them a whole lot. Just to add up that it's been a wonderful time with us this morning, and if you look at our time, the time is fast spent. But just a quick one, I'd like us to give in our predictions for this weekend before we go. My uncle in the studio, Mr. Bolu, just let's hear predictions for the weekend. I see Brentford also welcoming Liverpool. You know, they welcomed the Manchester City, the citizens, a couple of days back, and it was a draw. And now they are welcoming Liverpool to their home ground. So what's our take? And Chelsea is going to be welcoming Wolves. Wolves is going to be visiting Chelsea over the next match, and Arsenal has to tackle Aston Villa without Gabriel Jesus. So what's our take for the matches for the match day 22 of the English Premier League?
All right, Mr. Rafiki, in 10 seconds, your predictions, so that bookmarkers can also take notes.
I don't want to believe that we're going to need swallow this time around. Man U playing Southampton, I expect that to be a straight one for Manchester United.
One-sided game, right?
Yes, if switch Brighton, I'm looking at another draw again there. Then the Newcastle against Bournemouth, I'm giving that one to Newcastle. Not going to tell you the score. West Ham and Crystal Palace seems to be finding their way up the ladder recently. So I still pick a draw for that game. We have Brentford Liverpool. If you ask me, I want it to be a Brentford D. But Liverpool, excuse me, haven't lost the points. We want to give in their all against the Brentford side that's also doing very well. Leicester against Fulham. Leicester has not been able to find their feet even with their new coach Van Nistelrooy. So I'm looking at a draw or a Fulham win there. Arsenal, Aston Villa. Two teams who are still holding their own. Aston Villa won their game yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Same with Arsenal, and they're all both gaining momentum. If you ask me, I want an Arsenal win. I want an Nottingham Forest, Southampton. I give it to Nottingham Forest because of their recent form. Everton, Tottenham. I'm looking at the draw there. Man United, Brighton. I don't see Man U escaping this one. Then Ipswich, Man City, a slaughter for Ipswich if they're not careful. Chelsea, Wolves, another draw soup.
All right, well, in the spirit of another draw soup, I think probably myself and Comrade Soko and every lovers of we are not in the title race, we probably might just need to get our chill drink, relax, and watch it happen again. And swallow our swallow. All right. And we end on this note. Sometimes life gets tough, but remember why you started. And in the arena of life, every moment is an opportunity to shine. Keep pushing because the best version of you is waiting on the other side of the struggle. Stay focused and trust the process. And on this note, thank you so much, my guest, Mr. Rafiki Ojaokomo, for your time and thoughts. Thank you to Prince Keleti Big Bulam. Thank you, Comrade Abraham Soko. And to my co-anchor, you will never walk alone. We are still together in this journey, Mr. Chukwebuka, Ike. And on this note to say, thank you for staying tuned. Thank you to our viewers, and we hope to do this with you on the same station next time, next week. Stay glued to us tomorrow also for another interesting edition of this program. I remain your anchor, Boluwatfe Adedwe. Bye for now.